Broadcasting live from the World Wide Web, delivering the news 24/7 and the best Filipino entertainment in an online television. Blockbuster movies, great shows, music videos, and more. Serving the Filipino community in Northern America and the rest of the world. This is MCBN.TV, connecting our world.
What is important in talking about body image? The terms fat and thin, we heard a lot of those, but how does it really impact our relationship? And today, in our conversation, we'll be joined by very brave people to be part of my importance of talking about this social issue. I have Ophelia Alain and Godwin Ibote. Ophelia is actually an advocate for curve models, and Godwin is a transformational speaker. But we want you to join us. This is not all about us telling you, but this is all about us being part of the society and making a difference by commenting or asking some questions. So stay tuned.
Favorite Tickets, your trusted Filipino travel experts. We offer daily hot deals, 24/7 customer support, Tagalog-speaking agent. Seats are limited. ASA with Tickets, the only travel agency you need.
Brother, love you, love you. Ain't nothing in the world like having my brother. Heaven smiling, having my own brother. Take a chance on this bromance. You've got to take, you've got to take. Take a chance on this bromance. You've got to take, you've got to take. Take a chance on this bromance.
It's awe-inspiring. It's overwhelming. Black Diamond Event Management. Kusina ng ating bahay, Bayview Financial Incorporated in association with TFC, Mystique Mix Creative International at Kabalen. Proudly present One Magical Night, November 10th, an exceptionally special Saturday evening with the love teams of today's Silver Screen. Catherine Bernardo, Daniel Padilla, Janela Salvador, Elmo Magalona. It's a weekend of awe. Dahil kasama dito si Waki Kiray at ang positibong si Neki. One Magical Night, November 10th, Toronto Pavilion, your official media partner of One Magical Night, MCBN Media Group. Caregivers, unite! Your show is here! ATC, eto tayong mga caregivers. caregivers na nasa ibang parte ng ating mundo o nasa Canada mismo, sama ka na sa palatuntunang tutugon sa iyong mga hinaing, sasagot sa mga isyong bumabagabag sa inyong damdamin. Pag-uusapan ang mga temang napapanahon at mga hamon sa buhay ng mga caregivers ng kasalukuyang panahon. ATC, kasama ang inyong ating ATV Pagaduan. This program is brought to you by Action Honda, where car ownership is made easy.
Okay, let's talk about body image. Let's talk about body shaming. In the age of social media right now, well, and it's almost like it's too much. And one thing I read is like poor teenage girls, they're being kind of like a pressure of like what is the perfect image of a body should be, and how are you gonna respond to that? Like as a parent, like how am I gonna deal with this? But there's so much more. So what is important talking about body shaming or body image?
I think that the platform, especially as a plus size woman, as a woman first,
Yes.
as a plus size woman, I think one of the platforms that the plus community has really taken under their wing is that trying to promote that all bodies are good bodies. So when we say that all bodies, whether you are thin, plus size, whether you are white or you are of color, whether you are heterosexual, whether you're trans. So, and that's something that people don't talk about a lot.
It's a broader
it is
concept if you
so
talk
it's
about it.
all bodies. So that's what we're trying to just get out there in terms of all bodies are good bodies.
Where does shaming start? Like it's almost like let's jump into like let's avoid that. But where does it start though? Like before we talk about it to avoid it.
I think the whole idea of shaming comes from people allowing the society to dictate who they are.
I like the word allow. We allow it.
Yes, we allow it because there's this European psychologist who defines body image to be how an individual perceives his own body. So that means it is personal. First of all, it comes from how you yourself as an individual see yourself. If you see yourself positively, somebody from the outside can't change it. If you see yourself negatively, it will take so much work from the outside, external, to change it. So it has to do with how we see ourselves. If you see yourself and just believe that I'm perfect, I'm okay for myself, nobody can really put shame into you. But if in the course of growth and the environment we were open to, even the family we come out from and all that, if they had sent negative seeds into us, that's where the shame comes from. It starts from the inside. It's not really from the outside.
But it's not easy though. It's not easy. It's almost like ingrained to us and being so judgmental. I'm not being judgmental, but that's kind of like the reference. It's easy to kind of like, oh my gosh, like why? Like probably you've heard this. Why she's modeling? The concept of like models, it should be like thin, or probably let's go with race, kind of like white, or like, I'm being upfront and forward, but that's the reality though.
Yeah, it's true. And there are things that challenge that. So yes, you have your own perception in terms of maybe something that your mother or your father has assisted you and groomed you to have, but then it's when you leave the confines of your own home and now you go into society, and then you have that kid that looks at you in the schoolyard, or for me in high school, as I was walking down the high school hall and being called fat. And so that is what starts to challenge what I was raised with. and how I was raised and how I was raised to view myself. So that's once you leave the confines of your own home, your own upbringing, then that's another level, another beast, I'll say, in itself that we need to start to work on. And that's what challenges what you were raised with. That's what I find. So, for example, like I was walking down, my body changed in high school. That's in mid-high school. You know, I was fairly slim growing up, but around grade 10, grade 11, I went through a full transformation. I did. It was from night to day. And I had kids who told me I shouldn't wear skirts. My legs were too fat.
Telling you not what you should not because...
Exactly, because based off of whatever their idea of what was acceptable and their idea of beauty. And so I struggled for quite a bit with that. So that right there started to challenge my identity of myself and what I look like and how I should feel. So it took a while.
But in the day and age of now with the social media, it's like it's so much like it's either it's a curse or a blessing that the accessibility is like we're so informed and educated, but what are we doing with being informed and what are we doing in being so knowledgeable with the issue? But it's a matter of like how we transfer that to people and how we behave to others also. It's so you're so I would say brave, but I know you probably have a different kind of like concept what it's like, but like being a model itself, like being out there, you're in print, you're in shopping channel, like you do help other women or men and men, I mean, and being out there. But it's almost just not being out there. It's like you're going against what other people's perceptions.
For sure.
You're educating.
For sure.
Them.
For sure. Yep.
But that, like I said, it's not easy.
No, not at all. It's not easy at all because, you know, when a child is born, the child doesn't have any definition for fat, slim, tall, anything. Whether a boy, girl, whatever. All he just know is, I'm a child.
Yeah.
Now, it starts from the home. It starts from the home.
Yeah.
If a child is born into a home, and if the child has slim body, fat body, whatever it is, and the parents, starting from the parent, they start to tell, oh, you're a beautiful girl, you're a handsome boy, oh, these are yours, you tall and slim, you're lanky, you're wonderful, you're excellent. If that is sown as a seed, when the child finally leaves home, if somebody else is talking negatively, the person won't feel anything. Because he will feel, oh, that person has no understanding. Because if, like in the home, they've succeeded in telling you, if somebody tells you are fat to be negative, just understand is that person has a low self-esteem and is only trying to throw it on you. The person does not understand because who are we? No one created himself. No one really can do anything about your size. It just comes up. Just imagine like she said, she grew up slim and then suddenly it changed. What's she gonna do? It's a transition. It's a phase of life. It will definitely happen. And it comes, and if you already everything that works deals on foundation. If you have a good foundation that makes you have confidence and good self-esteem of yourself, if somebody from the outside is talking, you feel sorry for the person.
It's funny, not funny, but it's so for the shows for the longest time that I've been in this industry of coaching and transformation. Now I have a platform on TV and all the episodes, like it always comes up when we talk about this social issue. It comes back to like family. It always starts to like in your unit, in your own home. It's so personal immediately. And then we only see what the society, like we hear that, but then again, what you're saying, like it goes back to where you first started. It's like, okay, so the responsibility is you parents. No, really.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's a pressure. But no, like you're right. As a child, there's no concept, like it's irrelevant to them. Yeah. I see the difference, but the difference doesn't impact me or it doesn't have anything like, on me or on other people. But it's our adults, it's us, like, give that kind of like impression that it becomes a negative or positive, and how we kind of like turn that. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for parents to kind of like, okay, what do I need to understand? Okay, so that's the question then. What do they need to understand?
What do parents need to understand?
What do they need to start doing? Because we established that it needs to start from home. It needs to start from that upbringing. So those listening, what do they need to understand? How they're gonna start?
Okay, like what's the the parents now are now the adults, and they themselves are also suffering from one level of body image dimension, be it positive or negative.
Yeah.
So it will have to start from, like I describe it like, the parents too had parents.
Yes.
And then they have some seeds have been sown in them. I call it waste products. Anything that anybody puts into you as a concept that is not good for you is waste product. And what do you do with waste product? You intentionally dump it. And to dump it, you look for where to dump it that you won't see it again. Like if you have waste product in you, you definitely go to a specific place and dump it there. So what should the parents do? Parents should look for platforms like our platform that encourages people, that helps you reorientate your mind. Whatever you have been told before is not the truth. The reality is that you are who you are and you are best as you are. If the parents can capture that in their mind, then they can help the kids that are coming up. I believe by that is the way to go. Taking responsibility personally.
It starts there.
Taking responsibility. That's where it starts from.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking like for your work and the work that you do, it's like what's the hardest part or what's the biggest challenge? Because you're out there, like it's known already. Like we know, like that we need to accept every type of form of body, and it's like the judgment of others that makes it a difference. But what is the biggest challenge for you then?
That's a good question. The biggest challenge, I think it was just a matter of staying consistent. And staying present. There were times where I wanted to give up. There were times where I thought this fight is too big for me. This is a giant that I'm not ready to approach. There were times even
at this time,
even
with the social media time.
Wow.
Yeah. There are times even with some of the ventures or things that I've done in the last 2 to 3 years, I've had comments made where it's challenged me, and I'm like, wow, do I even belong here? I thought about that, and then I'm like, actually, no, I do. And I think it's very important to have a conversation with yourself, and I have those all the time. So, for example, I was changing amongst with another lady. And she commented that she lost weight. She's like, I lost 10 pounds. I feel great. I'm like, that's great. And then she ignored me and continued to talk to another lady. And she's like, I can't imagine being fat. And she just stopped.
Was she conscious saying that? Or she was just like, okay.
She stopped. I can't imagine.
That's interesting.
No, imagine you're me and I'm her. I can't imagine, you're the other lady. I can't imagine being fat.
Oh, wow.
And for a moment that challenged me because I'm like, wait a second, do I even belong here? And then I'm like, actually, I do belong here. And I'm not going to shy away. And you're going to see me and time after time, show after show. I'm going to be here whether you like it or not, because I am a sect of the population that needs to be seen. I represent a portion of the population that's out there. So I'm sorry that you have issues with it, but I'm going to remain consistent. And sometimes hearing these comments, you do want to shy away. You do want to go the next way. But if I do that, it wouldn't serve a purpose to myself, but especially for the other people around that need to see more images like me. In terms of the parents, can I comment on that?
Of course.
I think with parents, like I'm not a parent yet, wishfully putting that out there. But I'm not a mother, but I am an elderly sister. I'm an elderly sister, and I've also watched the work of my own mother. And I think what is important is to have open conversations with your child. I think it's also important to, as you said, positive affirmations, have those conversations. I also think it's important to monitor what your children are watching on social media. There was this one mother that I came across, and she's like, yeah, my child has an Instagram account. And I'm like, 11 years old, that's pretty young. She's like, yeah, but she's like, it's my Instagram account.
So she's
so they share it. So she's able to filter and see what her child is looking at. So I think that's something that parents need to be aware of, is to be very active so that they can see the images that are coming towards their children, and to have discussions over what is being presented or what's being seen.
Be involved.
Yeah, exactly.
And that will be the start of the conversation. In a way, as a parent, you're also educating yourself, or be an adult kind of like mentor. You're educating yourself. It's kind of challenge kind of like our perceptions also, because with a child, like they would ask a question that kind of like, oh my goodness, that's the question that we avoid as adults actually to ask. I don't know how to answer that. Or we're just like shielding you, but in a way, you're really not teaching if you're shielding.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's hard to have those open conversation because it challenged your own perspectives that you don't know, like, is this the right way or the wrong way? But I think what you're saying and what I'm getting is like, at least having that conversation, you learn from each other and gaining kind of like really that wisdom. And what I want to, when we come back, we're on a break. Let's talk about where does it turn for you, and how and what you are right now and what you do is really a good a story, like a wisdom to everyone. And we want like to come back to that. And please, you're in a Facebook Live. I know you are, and there are people like Christian, hello, and some people watching. Patrick's watching, Sir Vaughn's watching. But some of you are just coming on to the show. Please ask questions. This is our conversation, not just us. Our conversation. It's important to be part of it. So stay tuned.
Transmission now.
MCBN TV. It all starts with BinoyRadio.com, trailed by Crosswave Radio. Now comes a new kind of entertainment that connects us all. From our motherland, the Philippines, to the land you chose to migrate, the world we knew then and the world we know now. Streaming live 24/7 anywhere on Earth. Para sa'yo to, kabayan. This is MCBN TV, connecting our world.
AS Save It Tickets, your trusted Filipino travel experts. We offer daily hot deals, 24/7 customer support, Tagalog-speaking agent. Seats are limited. AS Save It Tickets, the only travel agency you need.
At UMS Healthcare College, earn your diploma and NACC certification for Personal Support Worker Program in 6 months. At UMS, you can get the best education for PSW program and committed quality training through our healthcare staffing agency. Register with us today and receive 15% off on your tuition. Visit our website, umsmed.ca, or call at 416-495-9000.
Time from a sight, a sound, or scene. There's a love that's felt right in your heart, where the magic all begins. Anywhere you go when the music plays, you smile and it's okay. From the radio, our song is played. The love that's shared today. Radio. These are the moments of our lives. Radio. Keeping our memories so alive. When I need a friend, a holding hand, you're right there by my side. All the memories come back again to warm the heart today.
PinoyRadio.com. I love Filipino music.
Okay. Even in a commercial, we're actually having a good conversation. Well, no. Continue telling your story. There's a woman who came from vacation in the community themselves.
Yeah.
Shame kind of like what the color of the skin is. So tell your story.
The story of the black lady, an African lady who, even in Africa, she was seen as being too dark for the
And that's
African
already the community that she belongs
the
to.
very community where there were dark people. They saw that they thought that she herself was just too dark. But somebody else came from the West on vacation and saw this extra dark lady and extra slim. The real issue was the complexion. She was just too dark, as it were. They said, wow, this needs to be shown to the public. And then today, she's a model. She has won so many awards. Why? Because somebody else with a different mentality saw her and have a different perspective to it and said, no. This, your complexion, can't be hidden here. That was the same complexion that the people with what I would describe as a low mentality saw as out of the way, but became what? Made her a star. So it all depends on perception. That's why I talk about parents and teachers, because I classify parents and teachers to be the same, because you have your first parents at home, then you have your teachers as also your parents who children spend about 8 hours every day.
More than with their parents.
Because parents go to work before parents come back. So if the parents and the teachers will filter what they teach or what they tell, not teach this time, what they tell, the conversations they have with the children, it will boost their self-esteem. And once their self-esteem is boosted up, it becomes like a defense against even the social media. That is not a problem on its own. Because there are sometimes when we discuss, I say behind the smiles. All those pictures we are seeing, people take pictures as if maybe their shape are just superb and all that, guys or girls alike, but behind, what do they think about themselves? It's not really, the smiles that is there on social media is not usually the smiles that is in there when the curtains are closed.
We portray someone's different, and it's not really who we are and what we are. So which it comes to the point to us, like for you guys, like the work that you do, both of you are so impactful to your own community and really to the society. When is the pivotal moment that made you realize that I need to make a difference, challenge perceptions, challenge people by saying that you don't belong here, but you say like, you're screaming, I belong here. When was that?
For me, it was a few years ago, well, over 10 years ago now. And it was very funny because when my body changed, because I was fat shamed and I was made to feel that what I had wasn't perfect by my peers, I began to hide my body. So I used to wear, I had a student council jacket. I was a part of the student council, and they gave us this windbreaker jacket, and it was from the wrist straight through to the neck, and I kept that zipped up, and I wore that. That was basically like my cloak. That was my protection. And then when that became old, I wore a windbreaker jacket. I didn't care if it was hot outside, cold, Christmas.
Or fashionable.
Fashionable, I didn't care. I didn't care.
Oh, what color? Like, does it go to my skin?
I didn't care. All that I knew at that point is that I needed to hide my fat body. And so my mom would always tell me, because my mom was also plus size, curvy lady, and she'd always be like, I'm big and I'm fat and I'm sexy.
She says that to you.
And
like
she would say that about herself, and
Yeah.
she would say that to me, and she's like, just own yourself. But still, for all, I heard her voice, again, that foundation lingering in the back of my head, and then I was dealing with my peers who were telling me that I shouldn't wear a kilt, and my body's fat, and walking down the hall, and that being belted out at me. And so finally, one day, I unveiled. I took off the jacket, and I'm like, you know what? I'm hot and I'm tired and these are my fat arms and this is what it is and I got a chubby belly and I'm gonna walk out and own it. That day I went into Pennington's and they were casting for an in-store fashion show. And I was like, they're like, you have a good look. You should be a model. Lisa Edwards and Shauna, I'll never forget them. They were so instrumental because they were like, you need to be a part. And I'm like, hell no. And my mom's like, put her down. So
you didn't think about yourself being a model because of different perception of what it is.
Exactly, because of course I didn't look like what a model should look like. And my mom was like, no, she needs to be a part. And I was a part of it. It was such a fun experience. It made me feel good. But at the end of the show, I had a lady come up to me and with her daughter, and she was in tears. And she's like, I never thought someone with your body, someone with a body that looked like mine could ever look good in clothes. And at that point, I just realized, I'm like, this is more than a journey just for me. It's about we. It's bigger than me. And that's what kept me going with my journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's only like it didn't only change you, but you changed someone else and more than.
And I didn't intentionally do that. So
because for you, it's just like this. It starts here.
So it's so funny when you own yourself and you love what you're about, and when you take a step forward, you're now influencing other people, whether you realize it or not.
Wow.
And the bigger things just came from that.
Yeah.
The big things always.
It's a small start of realization. Now I realize owning myself.
Yeah.
It's so like I would say simple, but it does start in something basic.
Yeah, it's true.
And they'll never know how would impact someone else, and it has impacted you by saying like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it could happen, but it did happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, that's really phenomenal because the big things that always start from the small things.
It's so true.
The big things always start from the small things, and then before we go to what you said, that you had this jacket and you just sort of zipped it off. People will call it comfort zone. The jacket became your comfort zone.
Exactly. Yeah.
For me, I that's why I say whatever people classify as comfort zone is actually the hiding zone. And until you're able to come out from that hiding zone and then own yourself, like you said, own who you are. There are people that they eat so much, yet they remain slim. And then there are people that are in what I describe as almost killing themselves pattern of dieting, and yet they still have this extra body that they have because that is who you are. You need to just own yourself. This is my person. This is my personality. And I'm more than just what you see. Every religion, every ethnicity, every school of thought believes that the human being is not this physical body. That the actual human being is the personality that's on the inside. This is just our coat or our covering, as it were. So everyone should be made to see that you are beyond this external. That is why a plus size can donate organ to a slim size person and whatever, and then a tall lanky guy can donate organ to a short guy, maybe somebody that is short like me. And all that is just is our human description. But what is in the inside that makes us the individual is bigger than the external. So, like for me, what really led to my transformation, I had always been involved in non-profits, and where we had to do a lot of counseling and all that. And when people come, by the time they start, say, wow, people going through so much. The tall guy comes, he complains that he's too tall. The short guy comes.
We're never satisfied, aren't we? We're never satisfied.
Yeah, so in trying to help them, trying to talk people over, that's just, sort of transited to that. There was no really aha moment that started it. It was just sort of like walked into it, trying to help people out.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
There's so much that we can do as well. And I think it should not discourage us from continuing doing what we're doing and do more. I mean, like what I'm doing also, this is just a platform,
awesome.
that at least we could start from something.
Awesome.
And when I've asked like, why you're doing this, or like, would it be effective? It's like, I don't care. We need to have a conversation, and not a lot of people wanted to be part of the discussion, but there's a fear of judgment or not sure. You know what? With uncertainty, that's the only time we can be certain. And it just really does a start, right? So we have so much more to talk about, and I know you're gonna share a lot of like wisdom still, but let's come back to that. And again, like if you have questions, please share them, and we would like to hear from you. So we'll be right back.
Homecomings, fresh starts, goodbyes. Over the last 75 years, the unique warmth of our people has touched millions of lives.
The heart of the Filipinos shining through, Filipino lights shining through.
Brother, love you. Ain't nothing in the world like having my brother. Heaven smiling, having my own brother. Take a chance on this bromance. You've got to take a chance on this bromance. You've got to take a chance on this bromance.
There's only one radio station in Canada that plays pure Filipino music.
Gagawin ko lahat para makapiling ka. Sa lahat ng babae, sa'yo lang magkakaganito.
We are North America's #1 Filipino radio. Pinoy Radio. I love Filipino music. This program is brought to you by iRemit. Sa iRemit, may ngiti sa bawat padala.
Let's talk about men. Let's talk about men.
Yeah.
When you talk about body image, I was saying about earlier, and there's a research that body shaming, body image, the default of conversations like women, girls, and not realizing men experiences the same way.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's true. Men on their own suffer it, and even suffer it to the extreme and hide it. I think why the women's aspect is more discussed is because women by nature talk about things. Men don't.
It's a good thing though, right? That's a good thing. Okay, men doesn't talk about it.
Men don't talk; they just suffer.
They just
suffer. That's why it's more on the part of men to go in the part of like committing suicide, doing wrong stuff and all that kind of things. Because like what's six-pack? What they talk men wanting to have six-pack is also because of a negative body image. If you like your body as you are, you wouldn't want to look like someone else. Because how you are is how you are. People go through extra stress and extra strain. I'm okay with when you do exercises in order to keep good health, that's fine. But when you now go to the extreme in order to get six-pack or eight-pack, whatever number of packs is called, some go to the extent of putting their health in danger. They do SS. They even take steroids so that they can look like someone else. It's not necessary. You are who you are. Excellent as you are, see yourself beyond the physical body. Don't try to be somebody else. You don't need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, except if that is your vocation, if that's the job. Arnold did his bodybuilding for a job. Some other persons will now want to look like Arnold. You don't have to look like Arnold. No, just be you. You are good as you are. You are suitable for your assignment as you are. And like the slim guys, some people will tell you, oh, you are tall, you funny places will say you're tall and gone beyond your senses. But that same height is what is used for basketball to become a pro, a champion, a global champion, and you get, so it's just that men hide.
You know what's interesting? I think for men, the issue is like, I need to look good. Look good means perfect, that you have the six-pack or eight-pack. It's like, because it's relevant for me in getting a mate. It's all about relationships, all about companion. And women, I would say, we're kind of like to blame. I would just use the word that when we look about mate, we have a certain image. And that perspective or that kind of like that image is like we tell the world that this is what we like for a mate. And there you go, like the vicious cycle. We do, and then we say that, oh, we're not a culprit, but we are.
For sure.
And this is we're telling you to do. And it takes a lot of courage for men to say, no, this is who I am, not my identity of what my physique is. Again, that is hard, but then we need to be brave. It needs to start from somewhere.
I think that it's also... just to add to that, there's a challenge, especially in the media, where usually the bigger guy is not the desirable guy. He's usually funny, clumsy, and he's the big, clumsy, like, dumb guy, you know? That's usually what the plus-size, fat guy is depicted as. He's never looked upon as, or just the friend in the relationship. Oh, you're so great, but you're just the friend.
Oh, you're so funny. That's why, like, no.
Exactly.
I'm more than that. No, I'm available.
Exactly.
But you're right.
So the media has been a culprit in displaying that and driving that thought forward. There's a few people in the community who are starting to change that. They're American, but I forgot his last name, but it's Addy. He has he's a plus size advocate, and also Reginald Sherrard, and he came up with a movement called We've Been Rockin'. And it's really depicting plus-size men and their journey with confidence and loving themselves. So there are some guys out there who are starting to realize that there's a deficit, and they're starting to take a proactive approach to this, which is nice. But it's still definitely an underserved, market or movement that we need to see more of that. We really do. We need to see more males come forward.
It needs to start from somewhere or someone, but it needs to start. It can't be really kind of like perfect. One thing that we like, what you're reading also in social media is like we equate unhealthy for being plus. We equate for being unhealthy if we're just being so large. It's so nice that in a way I'm so glad that you're able to use the word fat and thin without being so intentionally offensive. And that's not what we're trying to do. But we wanted to be really so real and talk about the real issue, right?
Fat and thin, if you just understand that they're descriptors, that's all that they are. So when people say, Ophelia is a fat woman, some people would say, "Oh my God, don't be offensive."
Yeah.
No,
you're not politically correct.
I'm not offended by that because that's a descriptor, and that's where a few years ago I did a piece with Your Big Sister's Closet. Karen Ward had written a piece, and I was one of the models that was chosen to be a part of the campaign, and it was featured on the front of the Metro, and the title was "Reclaiming the Word Fat." And when for me,
I like that.
yes, and for me, when I reclaimed that word, it was now a descriptive word. I am fat, you are thin, you are tall, I am short. That's all that it is. That's the most power that I've given to that word as a descriptive word. And that's
not
where it
an
stops.
identity.
It's not an identity, not at all. It's just a descriptor, period. That's it.
Yeah.
That is so wonderful. That's just the truth about it. Because like here now we have these 3 cups. And if I had to say, Mahal, please give me a cup, I've thrown you into confusion. You don't know which cup to give me. Are you going to give the white, the brown, or which? So it's just the same. You say, okay, call me the short guy. Call me that short guy. Because of what society has made it seem, it might sound as if it's an insult, as if it is embarrassing or shameful. It's not. Like me, I'm short. I'm wonderful as I am. I like my stout nature. I'm cool with it. And if somebody say, hey, that guy is short and stout, yes, that's me. That's my description. Because if you were to say, call that tall guy, that's not me. If you intended to mean me, you have to use the right description for me. And I need to own my description.
Claim it.
I need to claim it because that is who I am. And that's what everybody else needs to do. Know who you are by your descriptions. Receive it. If somebody else has a wrong perspective or a negative perspective of it, if you have the time, you can help the person reorientate his mind. But if you don't feel like that's the person's opinion. Les Brown said, somebody told him at his earlier stage, don't let another person's opinion of you become your reality. No, your reality should be what is in you that you believe about yourself.
Create your own reality, but not someone else's judgment.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
It's almost like, yes, that's easy, but it's hard. We need to start from somewhere. And we're almost going to be done, actually. I'm going to go for a short break and come back and like bring in the wisdom of like, what is this, what we're talking about, and how people, and they're telling me that I don't have any. Great. Okay, so how long do I have though? 10 minutes, 5 each or like whatever. How many minutes, but it's just so short. It's just so short.
Yeah.
What is important for you to tell people at this time? Whether by race or religion, what background, like what description they have, like what is important they need to know to rise above this very alarming social issue?
For me, I have this saying, and it goes, confidence is a compilation of many things. But I'm going to extend that and just simplify it. You are a compilation of many things. So your physical beauty is one aspect, but then there's also your emotional, who you are spiritually, who are you as a friend, a community member, as a person to this world, who are you to yourself. So I don't get caught on one aspect. I look at the whole picture, and sometimes it's so easy, especially with social media, for you just to focus on beauty as just being this. And it's not.
What you see.
Yeah, it's one aspect of it, but you could be beautiful by society standards, but rotten in here. So it's, who are you? Are you kind? Are you nurturing? Are you loving? Do you walk around with 2 catcher's mitts on, as Maya Angelou would say, and just take? Or are you taking and giving back to your community? So that's my platform for myself, is I always look at the whole picture, each element of who I am. So I know that I'm a good friend. I know that I'm a good colleague. I know that I'm a great partner. Well, at least I hope he thinks that.
We'll ask him.
But I'm a great partner. And so I give back to my community. And then, yes, I am a fat woman and I'm beautiful. I love it.
Oh my
God. Thank you.
You know what I'm so loving about it is like it's so beautiful how you said it also, that the claiming. We're talking about
Yes.
claiming. And there's courage and there's a message that we can't be just put in a closet or hide. It's time to come out. It's not our identity. This is the identity that I want to stand by, and I stand by that.
Can I add something to that quickly?
Of course.
Just in terms of reclaiming, I was at the gas station about 2 years ago, and it was my fault. I didn't realize the gentleman had been waiting, so I pulled in. And then he got out and he was like, hey, I'm waiting. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. And so he's like, you're fat. And then he's like, if my girlfriend like that, I wouldn't look like you, I wouldn't be with her. And I looked at him and I'm like, I'm fat and you're stupid. And he's like, excuse me?
That's true.
I'm like, because it's obvious that I'm fat.
Yes.
So for you to bring that up, you're just an idiot. Have a good day. And I'm sorry, but have a good day.
There you go.
So right there, claiming that took away his power.
Yes.
Because he thought he was going to break me. And at that point, he was just like, what?
Wow.
Like, she's okay with this? Yes, I'm okay with that. Because I've owned it. I'm okay with it. Therefore, you have no power over me.
No power over me. Like, I like what you said, the power.
Yeah.
Don't give it to someone else.
Yep.
Keep it to you, and that's how you're going to light up the world.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Good for you.
That's so powerful. That is so powerful. That's so powerful. To own who you are and then generate power from there.
Yeah.
And then if somebody else comes thinking they want to slap word at you, you help them.
Yeah.
I believe that guy would have left that place thinking, God, why did I say this in the first place?
Exactly.
So the more people are able to own their personality, develop self-esteem irrespective of body shape, body size, whatever, it will generate energy in them, and they will just, whoever had been shaming them, as it were, with a simple, peaceful response, they'll keep short. They'll just keep short. They'll just keep short. What I would like to say is, the world we are going towards 8 billion people. That means 8 billion individuals with different mentalities. If you come to me and I admire you for being fat, and then you come to Mahal and Mahal doesn't like someone who's fat, does that mean everywhere you go, each individual you meet, you try to either slim down or become short, become tall? That would be suicide. So the best thing is take yourself as you are. Because every community have their personal likes. If you want to start changing by community, that would be a whole lot of trouble. But if you accept yourself as you are, come into any community as you are, and help that community to receive you as you are. Not trying to change for that community, no, because you are who you are. You can't change who you are. But all I just say is, beyond the bodies, beyond the physical body, be the best that you can be. Be an ambassador for yourself.
Be an ambassador to yourself. Oh my gosh.
Be an ambassador.
That's big and so powerful. It's almost like stand tall.
Yeah.
Stand tall. Don't hide. Don't kind of like shame yourself. Like, I think that's what it is. Like we're shaming our own before others. We already started giving that perspective to others. Like, stand tall.
Stand tall.
And claim it.
It's powerful.
It's, oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
There's and I don't know how many minutes I left, kind of like I could still continue, but there's so much kind of like to do, but I said, like, we need to start from somewhere.
Yes.
And you know, when we talk about community, and even in a Filipino Canadian community, like we're doing a lot of stuff, but how relevant that is in the issues that's really affecting Canada. I think we need to think in a larger scale. But that 1 billion is a 1 billion perspective. And that we need to kind of like really rise above. What's next for you? What's next for you?
What's next for me would be just to continue to start with each individual I meet. Like my life vision is, everyone I meet help to increase their perception of themselves. Add value to that person, to love who you are, self-love. Love yourself, be the best that you can be an ambassador for yourself. Look inwards, bring out the personality that's inside. Forget about it. Physical body.
Yeah.
You can't change the physical body, no.
Yeah.
What you can actually change is what is on the inside. If there are deposits, waste products, like I call them, dump them where you won't see them anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't dump them where you like. Go to that, like you want to bring out waste products from you, you go into a specific room and you dump it there and you flush it out and it goes away never to see it. Anything that is a waste product, like what they've dumped that you don't like, dump it. Go find the right community. Our community is a good one. Join such a community and be the best that you can.
Where could people reach you in terms of they want to get in touch with you, continue kind of your mission in the society?
To reach me, the best place to reach me will be on Facebook. I think that's
I know everyone's there, right?
Everyone's there.
Yeah.
On Godwin Ebote.
Yeah.
And that would be the easiest. And from there, we can pick it up from there.
And I think a lot of the people, that's part of the reason I've never done it before, but this is the first time I'm doing, is like, people need to have role models, mentors, and you guys are doing so much. And then I think I want people to know who they can go to.
Thank you.
It doesn't matter what race, it doesn't matter what background, what they learn from here is they know people they can talk to and live the mission that they need to be living by contacting you guys.
Yeah.
And it starts from there.
Exactly.
Right. What's next for you?
For 2019, I have a few ventures. I'm not able to say too much just yet. I'm still working on a few things, but you'll hear my voice in terms of being more of an advocate and a speaker. I plan to extend upon that. And then I also have my yearly food drive, Ophelia and Friends, Give Back. So that's coming out shortly as well. So I look forward to that. Again, the same concept of not walking around with two catcher's mitts hands, catcher's mitts on, just always giving back. So that's important to me. And you can reach me at Ophelia, spelled Ophilia Enterprises on Instagram, or Ophelia Elaine on Facebook.
There you go.
Yes.
Everyone's in Facebook.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you.
brave enough to be part of this conversation. We had so much fun. It's like, it is a heavy subject, but I think we've come into a lighter perspective that it starts here. And what you guys have done it's huge. There's really a lot of like words like be an ambassador to yourself, like reclaiming kind of like really that identity. Own yourself.
I like that.
But
Thank you.
yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for tuning with us, and so much wisdom. I don't just want you to just like contain it in what you receive from today. Like overflow it and let people drink from your cup of goodness and positivity. So we're gonna see you next week, but I think it's gonna be a replay, and I want to do this again. But we're gonna have our actually we do November 4th. Sorry, we have another one, and then November 18 will be our last, and hopefully you can join us. And we have so much still to do. Goodbye for now.